Meeting going live on YouTube, making Sandeep a co-host. Anyone else who wants co-host?
Hi everybody. I would be sharing my screen for the accountant report. So I guess I would need the co-host access as well.
You have right to share screen.
Oh,
I
thank you.
already have it. Don't remove it.
Oh, perfect. Thanks.
Muting everyone except myself. You have the option to unmute yourself. Can I see some virtual applause if you guys are not going to appear on video? Welcome everyone to meeting number 114 of professional speakers where eloquence meets impact. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. And while I'm talking about personal growth, I would like to get started with the unique feature of our club. And that unique feature is our short-term goals. And our short-term goals today will be kicked off by Toastmaster Aditya as soon as I share the screen. I have started the presentation and now I'm sharing the screen as it states professional speakers where eloquence meets impact. Now let's see the impact starting with Aditya.
Good evening, everybody. My short-term goal is to create 45 social media posts by 30th of October and increase my reading speed to 340 words per minute also by 30th October. I'm happy to announce that I am well on track with it. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. This is Anshupriya Prasad, and my short-term goal is to improve my listening skills, and I am working towards it. Thank you.
Devina is not here. He is also not.
Good evening, everyone. I am Mukesh Thakur, and my short-term goals at professional speaker is two-way around. One is about the pronunciation as well as enunciation skills, for which I am reading around 70 pages every week. This week I have read around 77 pages, and the other part is I am trying to improve on the grammatical mistakes, and for which I am writing around 1000 words every day. And for this week I have written around 7000 words. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Raj Mehta. My short-term goal is to improve my pronunciation and voice and accent. In about 6 months for this, I'm reading novels, and particularly from this week onwards, I have started underlining the difficult words and finding the meaning of that. And after that, I'm also speaking it separately and making sentences of those words. So this way, my reading speed has reduced, but I'm able to grab more words. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My short-term goals are centered around my fluency of speech and adhering to the time limits. The first goal is to reduce the crutch words and filler sounds to less than 4 in an 18-minute speech and have zero grammatical errors, and try to use at least 4 new or uncommon words or phrases in an 18-minute speech and at least one such word or phrase in a 7-minute speech. And I desire to have zero defects in the time limit. Thank you.
My short-term goal is to deliver a keynote in District 4 on change management. on January 9, 2021. I met with the stakeholders this week and got an idea of what I'm supposed to speak about. You will see that in my professional speech today. I have also got some professional speaking opportunities lined up later next month and then one in December. Hopefully, I'll deliver the best of my speeches.
Hello everyone, this is Sandeep. I have two short-term goals for this year. One is to have the better command on English language, and second to improve on impromptu speaking. Sorry, I could not be able to make the progress last week, but I will definitely cover it next week. Over to you, Presiding Officer.
Hello everyone, my name is Shivpriya. My short-term goals are aligned to improve my writing skills, and I intend to write 9 articles by December 31st, 2018. I have only written 3, so I would be revising or revisiting my short-term goals or increasing the target date. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you. I will stop the sharing of the screen and we will return to a more our normal format. Thank you everyone for sharing your short-term goals. I see that today we have quite a few guests, and I would request one of the co-hosts, that is Raj Mehta or Sandeep, to help me in spotlighting certain guests provided that their videos are on. I would like to recognize Rishabh Pathak. Can we have a round of applause for him, either virtual or in person? Welcome, Rishabh. Moving on, we have Seema as a guest. Let's have a round of applause for her. We have Suchismita Mishra joining us once again. We have Yashika Brijvasi, who's joining us for the first time. She is new to Toastmasters, and right now she is just trying to find her way around in Toastmasters, experienced Toastmasters meetings. Welcome, Megha Gupta. Let's have a round of applause for her. And last but by no means the least, the person who came in at the last moment to save the day for us, our grammarian for today, Toastmaster Gayatri Deshmukh. I come from a time when we used to have manuals for our projects. So these manuals were paper manuals. Later on, we migrated to projects, which were to pathways, which was largely online. And for many of us, pathways was a transitioning experience. So it was heavily dependent on technology in terms like e-learning, terms like online learning. Some of it we were not very familiar with. Nevertheless, the success rate of pathways has been phenomenal. I've heard districts where there is as much as 80 to 90% acceptance of pathways going forward. And whatever it is an online medium. Technology and Toastmasters are coming together in a partnership. Our Toastmaster of the day for today is going to talk about technology and Toastmasters. And I think he's the right person to do it because by far he is one of the most progressive people that I have seen when it comes to improvements from Toastmasters. Today, you heard him speak how he wanted to work on his enunciation and pronunciation skills. Now, it is one thing to say that you want to work on your enunciation and pronunciation skills. It is another thing to document what exactly you are going to do, what tools are you going to use. And he laid it out so eloquently that he was going to read aloud from books to correct his enunciation and pronunciation. Someone who is an epitome of hard work and dedication, and someone who is an inspiration to many. He is also a tremendous help when it comes to tax matters, and I can tell that to you on a personal basis. With a huge round of applause, Let's welcome our Toastmaster of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur. Mukesh Thakur, Technology and Toastmasters. Technology and Toastmasters, Mukesh Thakur.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone. So nowadays I am watching the second time Friends, and in one of the scenes you might have, if you are a fan of Friends, you might remember there is one scene where Rachel Green gets pregnant and she did not disclose it to anyone, because the moment she thought about this change, the change that are going to happen in her life, in her body, and everything is going to change, she was crying day and night every day. She was not able to understand how to do, what to do, and she was just trying to get away of this. But to her assistance enter Phoebe, who said, let's do the test once again. And there is a possibility that the first test was false. They did the test, and Phoebe said that it was negative. The next moment, Rachel was again devastated because she was already ready for the entire change, and now that this thing is not going to happen, now she was again crying because she was already, even if she was crying day and night, she was ready for it. When Phoebe said that she lied about it and the result was actually positive, then she accepted the change happily. So when there is a change, there is a human tendency that we resist. We are so much comfortable in our comfort zone that we don't want to get out of it. The same thing happens with Toastmasters and technology. Since the entire world is changing, Toastmasters has to change. Otherwise, they will not be able to cater the need of the time. But when there is a change, there is a change in the method, there is a change in the environment, in the way we are meeting today. And instead of taking the leverage of the technology, we are saying there is a downside to how we are using the technology. As for one of the philosopher, I'll just share the slide. It is taking time. So sometimes technology is also your not a good friend. I don't know why it is not changing.
It is not visible, Mukesh. So do you want to share the screen?
Yeah, I'm sharing it again. So this is one of the example how you should use technology when you are doing Toastmasters wisely. As per the
Kubler-Ross.
one second. Yeah. As per the chart prepared by Kubler-Ross, there are 5 phases of acceptance of a change. It starts with denial. The moment you hear some change, you go for avoidance, confusion, elation, shock, and fear. The next phase is anger. It is about frustration. I am not going to do it. Why am I supposed to do it? Why me? The third phase is depression, where you are certain that something going to change, but you are helpless. You are not able to do anything. So you will go into depression. Then you want to come out of this situation and you go for bargaining. And at the last, you go for acceptance. Similar things we are experiencing with the Toastmasters, and we will know a lot about it, about our professional speech today. But before we go into that, let's see what we do in our typical professional speakers meeting. So there are 5 different and unique segments of professional speakers. The first segment is a business segment, where we share our short-term goals and our progress of the current week. We have already done that. You have already witnessed how we are progressing about that. The next segment is the professional speech, in which one of our members share their professional speech exactly in 18 minutes. In the third segments, you enter onto the stage where the table topics master might call you and ask you to deliver a speech for 1 to 2 minutes. In the fourth segment, we have prepared speeches where two of our members deliver their speeches which are prepared as per the Toastmasters International Education Program. In the fifth segment, we invite one of the established speakers to speak on professional speaking. And in the sixth segment, we have our general evaluation, which is one of the most important and constructive phase. Today, our general evaluator is Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar. Can we have a huge round of applause for him? And the team of general evaluator consists of our counter, Aditya Gupta. Can we have a huge round of applause? We have our timer, distinguished Toastmaster, Raj Mehta. And please put your hands together for our guest and first time our supplementary role player, grammarian Gayatri Deshmukh. I would invite Gayatri to share the word of the day.
Thank you, Mukesh. Word of the day is synergy. Synonyms for synergy are alliance, teamwork, harmony. The definition would be the interaction or cooperation of two or more organizations, substances, or other agents to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate effects. Examples would be the synergy between parents and teachers allowed the students to be educated both at home and school. Another example would be to put on the concert, synergy between the organizers and the sponsors was required. Thank you. Over to you, Mukesh.
Thank you very much, Gayatri. Can we have a huge round of applause and can we use the word of the day synergy to just go through our meetings and also after the meeting, we try to leverage the synergy between Toastmasters and the technology. The fourth and the most important team of the evaluator is you, because you are supposed to write notes of all the speakers and prepare your points, and the speakers as well as the professional speakers might come and ask you during the general evaluation section to give your feedback, because in the professional speakers we go in the manner of round table evaluation instead of going specific evaluation. Now, as we are proceeding about the meeting, let's invite our first speaker, who is our professional speaker. Before inviting him, I would like to tell that how he is one of the pillars of a professional speaker, and with this speech as well as his various earlier speeches, he is not helping only professional speakers, but he is helping the entire Toastmasters community to grow. Whenever there is a lag, there is a gap, he comes forward and put his foot down to stop any complaint to come above. Our professional speaker is a compulsive connoisseur, a lethargic laggard, and a sound sleeper. He is a father to a handsome son who he believes has taken after his father, self-confessed, and he is a wonderful husband. When he is not lazing, eating, or sleeping, our professional speaker drives improvement and excellence as a learning and development professional. With a huge round of applause, please welcome on the virtual stage distinguished Toastmasters Rupinder Singh. Rupinder Singh, Technology and Toastmasters. Technology and Toastmasters, Rupinder Singh.
I have a friend, and this is his story. Now, my friend went through a transition. His office got relocated. Earlier, he used to live 5 minutes away from his house. Now it became a 45 minutes drive. He used to live in Gurgaon. Now he has to drive all the way to Delhi. And just because of that, he started harboring ill will about his new organization. Now, one day when I sat with him and we were having drinks, he was having drinks. I was just listening to him, and he told me how his job was not what he wanted, how he had a difficult boss, how his colleagues would not work with him, how he could not get along with most of the staff, and how he yearned to go back to the way that the things were. I heard him very patiently, and then I asked him that, Sahil, is it possible that all of these feelings, all of these negative feelings that you are having, is it a result of a simple fact that your office got relocated, or and you have now to travel 45 minutes extra or 40 minutes extra? Is it because of that? Because the way I look at it, you got a decent raise, you have a decent position, you have company transport, and you get to work from home one day in a week. It's something that you always wanted. So why this negativity? Sahil would not agree with me. And then COVID happened. Sahil was now required to work from home 5 days a week. And one day Sahil called me up and he said, you know, the talk we had the other day in Cyber Hub, maybe you were right. Maybe it was those 45 minutes of time eating into my daily routine. And it was not 45 minutes, effectively, it was 90 minutes because I had to go to work and come back home. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, could be, would be, should be Toastmasters. The only constant thing in life is change. Recently, practically the whole world has undergone a tremendous change. A tiny organism has caused us to put up our defenses, go back home, and work from there. It has had ramifications that are at a magnitude unprecedented. In many ways, it could be considered paradigm shifting. But if there's one thing that I have learned from the human race, it is survival. Otherwise, how do you explain us meeting in this virtual medium? Did you know the chances of us meeting today were 1 in a 5 billionth of a billion? Why, you ask? It starts right from the origin of the universe. If the Big Bang had happened a fraction of a second late, even a billionth of a second late, this world would not have existed. The very fact that this world exists is a testament to the surviving skills of the human race, of life itself. COVID presented a threat and an opportunity, particularly for Toastmasters. There was, when it was announced that Toastmasters were going to meet out online, for some of us, it was an opportunity. I particularly looked forward to it because I would get to go to many clubs around the world. I attended meetings in Pakistan. I attended meetings in the United States, in Africa, in London, where I played the role of a grammarian. The same people who bought English language to our shores, I actually went to their shores and I actually played the role of a grammarian in a language that they invented. Then there were those who were ambivalent about it. They wanted physical meetings to resume as soon as possible. And then there are those who will not want to do anything with virtual meetings. I personally know a few of those cases. People are refusing to take up Toastmasters just because we are meeting online. But here is my question. Where is that spirit of survival that has seen us through so many millennia? Why can't we think of this as an opportunity and not as a threat? Today, I am going to talk about a few ways that technology and Toastmasters are helping us shape up for the future. I will take a personal example. There was a time in another world, in another life, when I was into information technology. I was designing websites for a living. Life was hunky dory. I was earning a decent sum and I was making it all out of technology. Then, due to various reasons, I decided to go back to my passion of training and development. 10 years later, I came back to technology to develop websites all over again. And I realized I could not do that anymore because the technology had undergone such a tremendous transition that I could not recognize the tools that I used to work with before. Each one of them had undergone a massive change. I gave up the idea of going back to technology ever, not knowing that technology would come knocking back when it came to me developing learning platforms, learning programs on an online platform. I had to contend with technology all over again. But hey, there was a 10-year gap, and I found it very difficult to get to terms with technology. Now, what if I had stayed in touch with technology all that while? Perhaps I would have been up to speed. Perhaps my learning curve would not have been as steep as it was for me. I hear many speakers say today that they will not give a speech until and unless we go back to physical meetings. And my question is, are you not putting yourself in the same kind of doldrums as I did when I told myself that I'm not going to write code any longer, so I might as well stop? Imagine what it could have done for me. For one thing, it could have made me a better professional as far as it came to e-learning, a better e-learning professional. Today, I understand that it is very difficult to give a speech to a camera device inside your laptop, inside your mobile phone. It is very difficult to look at that single point in light and speak to it and try to imagine that you are speaking to a massive audience. I understand that it is very difficult to register how your audience is responding, particularly when half of the audience, or let's say more than half of the audience, have their videos turned on. How is it possible when you don't even know that if a particular person who's turned off their video is even listening to your speech in the first place. I'm glad to see some videos come on the moment I made that request. How is it possible that people will listen to you? How do you even know that people are listening? How do you know that you are cracking a joke and that people are laughing at the joke? I understand that these are challenges. But let me tell you another story. There was a time when I tried to lose weight. I know sounds very difficult to believe, but I did that. I took up cycling and I used to cycle. At first it was difficult, but then it became a breeze. And me and cycling, me and the bicycle became one. Now, as soon as I settled into that rhythm, I found that earlier I was able to cycle for 10 kilometers. Now I could go 20, 25 kilometers and it would still feel the same. The challenge had to change. So what I did, I attached weights to my feet. Cycling did become difficult, but I kept at it. After 3 months, when I removed the weight, I was able to cycle for 50 kilometers without breaking a sweat. Today, if you try to give your speech on a virtual platform, and if you're able to cause a smile or a laughter or a response on a virtual platform, that is you riding that bicycle with weights on your feet. And just imagine when that weight comes off, when you are there in front of a physical audience, you will be a different person altogether. You will not be the kind of speaker that you were before. You will have become a better speaker by several notches. When I did not, when I left programming, people kept on telling me about the innovations that were happening. And I kept on telling that I am never going back to programming. So why do I even need to know it? Turns out I made a big mistake because what I did not learn became relevant later. Virtual platforms are going to be even more relevant going forward in ways that we can't even imagine. I once thought, what if instead of building road transport, organization focused on developing vehicles that could fly, flying cars, flying trucks, flying everything. Right now, it would not seem too much of a difference, but consider this. We have about 160,000 square kilometers of road all over the world, and that is a very conservative estimate. 160,000 square kilometers of road. If that road were to turn green, if it was to have forests, if it was to have trees, if it was supposed to have grass, it would be the fourth largest forest in the world. The point that I'm trying to make is roads will become redundant if we have flying vehicles. We will become redundant if we don't come to terms with technology. The study of technology in Toastmasters is a constructive step. I believe that technology, with its multitude of beneficial applications, will be a boon to Toastmasters at large and mankind in general. Perhaps it will help us in breaking these boundaries of race, politics, gender. Perhaps it will make us realize the value of living in this unique environment that sustains us on this small but precious planet. Ladies and gentlemen, this is technology calling Toastmasters. We must heed it, we must hear it, because there are very few alternatives other than this course of action. That of constructively merging the mighty forces that flow from technology and Toastmasters. I give it back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
We are observing 1 minute of silence. Timer, please indicate at the end of 1 minute. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta. So, what a wonderful speech we heard, and I am sure that going forward, the synergy between Toastmasters and the technology will be even higher and stronger. With this, we are moving to a point where we have to see how much you are getting affected through the professional speech and how your synergy with the online platform is going to work. So our next segment is for the table topics speech section, where our table topics master Ashu Priya Prasad will come and talk about the rules, what she is going to do in this section. Our table topics master is a journalist. She is working as a senior producer with India TV. She had started her journey with Toastmasters in February 2018, and from then on, learning and growing is in the process. So, with a huge round of applause, please welcome on the stage Toastmaster Anshu Priya Prasad.
Thank you, DTR Mukesh. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Let's be in synergy and have a great table topics session. Table topics are like a mini speech with an opening, a body, and a conclusion. Table topics enables a speaker to quickly organize and express their thoughts. And the best part of this segment is that the guests can also participate. Each speaker is required to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Participants will be disqualified if they speak less than 1 minute or exceed 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Today we are going to construct a story. First participant will start the story, and the subsequent participant will pick the story from where the previous speaker had finished. And then the last participant will finish the story. I hope everyone got it. Please remember that the same thread or the same idea should continue throughout the story. Now the twist is, I will give you the last line of the story, and every speaker will incorporate 2 words. in their speeches. I will give you the words when your turn will come. I have one volunteer, DTM Shivpriya. I need 2 more volunteers. Please write your name in the chat window. I would request all the guests to participate, please. Okay, I got one volunteer, Abha and Suchishmita. So, okay, so Abha, Suchishmita and
Seema
DTM.
raised her hand. Seema also raised her hand.
We only take 3 table topic speakers. Or are you allowing me to take 4 this time? Can we?
It depends upon how much time the table topic speaker is going to go. So after the third, you can take a judgment call whether you want to take the fourth one.
No, I have to form a group. So either I can have 3 or 4.
In that case, you can leave me and you can take the rest, the 3 of them who had nominated.
Okay. So we have 3 volunteers. Abha, Suchishmita and Seema. So the last line of the story is, her eyes had more clarity than a megapixel of the camera. So we are starting with Abha. All 3 of you have got the concept that we are going to build a story.
I just have one question. We start with this line or the story ends at this line?
Story ends with this line. So the third speaker will incorporate this line in her speech. So Abha, we are starting with you, and your 2 words are ghost and doll. So your time starts now.
Ghost? I didn't get the
And
2
doll.
words.
It's there in the chat window.
I have written it in the chat box. Can you see it? Ghost and doll. DOLL.
I held a little doll in my arms. I was all of 10 years old. My favorite doll, you know. It was a gift it was a gift from my eldest uncle, who I was so fond of, and he knew how much I loved the doll. I used to carry the doll with me everywhere I went. Even if I wanted to break for lunch, I would plonk her here and eat with one hand. My doll was so precious to me. I used to make lovely dresses for her, you know, cutting out little slips of cloth from my mom's favorite saris. They were nice with lovely borders, and I would take care that I would just cut off the last bit. Because, you know, mom would hardly wear her saris. It was only when she went out that she would even bother to look at them. With those little borders, I used to make these lovely dresses for my doll. At night when I slept, I made sure she was also right next to me on my pillow with my little shrug over her as well. One day, what happened? A friend of mine came and told me a ghost story. And the ghost story revolved around the doll. I didn't want to hear this story, but then she was insistent all the time and said, no, it's very interesting. Come, let me tell you, you're going to really like it. I'll tell you what's going to happen. But you know, I had never liked ghosts. My dad never told me ghost stories. My mom never told me ghost stories. I didn't really like them, you know. And here was I with my lovely doll, and she created this story out of a doll in her ghost story. Wasn't that mean of her? I decided I'm never ever going to speak to her. So you know what I told her? I said, Meeta, I'm not going to be friends with you anymore. You went and told me a ghost story, that also about my doll. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I took the doll and I went back home. Over to you for the next speaker.
Thank you, Abba. It was so nice. I didn't want you to stop, but I think the time doesn't allow us. So now, Seema, you are going next, and your words are lips and fun.
Yes.
Okay.
Once the ghost story was told, then there was some curiosity in the mind of the doll. It was thinking, what fun is it going to be if she becomes the part of that story? Her lips were moving here and there in the sense she wanted to speak something. All of a sudden, the ghost and the doll both became friends and they started having a lot of fun all together in the room. But they made sure whenever anyone enters, they were not supposed to interact because toys cannot be alive in front of human beings, no? In front of Earthling, you can't be. So they both had a great bond between each other. They played a lot, they shared a lot of stories, and at times they even had role plays also. One day, the doll became her the bosom friend, and the ghost became her another friend, and they both started talking and chatting like their friends only. And then they had a lot of fun. They were so they were on cloud nine. They were laughing like ha 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 ho ho ho, and they had great time together. And one of the friends told, you know what, my friend, a person who takes care of me, was always there for me. It keeps on holding me here and there. It never leaves me. Then the ghost, he felt exhausted. He said, how come someone carry you throughout the day? But then in the end, the doll said to the ghost, do not worry. It's not about always keeping a person all together in the arms. It's all about how a person deals with it. So eventually, both of them learned that it's not about just having the physical thing, it's more about having the tranquility. And they both kept on enjoying with each other. And then their friends came. They again turned into their respective character. What were they? The doll and the ghost. Over to you.
Thank you, Seema. I'm just loving the story. It has become so interesting. Thank you so much. Brilliantly you spoke. Now, Suchis Smita, it's your turn now. And your words are fear and here.
Okay, thank you.
And you have to incorporate the last line. You remember that?
Now, can you repeat it first, once again?
Yeah, that last line you will say in the end.
What is that last line?
Her eyes had more clarity. Her eyes had more clarity than a megapixel camera.
Okay, yeah, fine. Then then I had a doll and I enjoyed with the doll a lot. But what to do? Because my dad was in a defense, so we used to travel a lot. So I left that place and I went to a new place. There I made many friends and I played with my doll along with my friends a lot. But during that period of time when we were traveling from one place to another place, I was searching. I lost my doll. I was searching, where is my doll? She's not there anywhere. So I was looking at every place. Then I thought whether the ghost has taken my doll. That may be the reason. That's why I'm not finding my doll, where the doll is. I started crying a lot. I was missing the fair and the very fair doll and a beautiful doll which I had. I was missing the doll and I was scolding the ghost, why you took my doll away? And I was crying a lot. Then again after few days, I got my doll. It was near. It was at a corner of the house. It was there under the table. I got my doll and I was so happy that I got my doll. I saw the eyes of my doll. It was like my doll is very happy to meet me. And I was thought that why I was thinking that the ghost has taken the doll from me. Maybe the ghost has helped me and brought my doll back to me because I was crying a lot. So I loved my doll and I loved the eyes of my doll, which says everything that eye speaks more than what you say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Suchismita. It was awesome. And thank you all the participants for that valuable story. And I'm so proud of each of you that you were able to use the words and you have also spoken the last line. And with this, I, Anshupriya Prasad, is signing off. Over to you, DTM Mukesh.
Thank you very much. Can we have a huge round of applause for not only the table topics master, but also for all the table topics speaker for your ghost and a doll and all the wonderful journey that you have just created. Maybe you all of you should start writing novels. So we have seen the synergy between all the three table topics speaker, and now we are ready for the prepared speakers. Moving forward, our first prepared speaker is Rolly Sinha. Before I share her project, I should first write her. 1 second. The screen playing has stopped. Okay. 1 second, just. Okay, there is how much you have prepared. There is always a gap. So Rolly Sinha is going to deliver her project number 1 from innovative planning, and Rolly Sinha, 1 second, just. She is working for Cadence for last 17 years. She has handled and is handling scholarship programs for 88 unprivileged children. She is an aspirant and scintillating speaker. She loves to read and learn about English language. She is going to deliver her project first from the evaluation and research project from the innovative planning. Her time is 5 to 7 minutes. So please welcome on the virtual stage with a round of applause, Rolly Sinha. A smile needs the mind and heart. A smile needs the mind and heart. Toastmaster Rolly Sinha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mukesh. Victor Hugo once said that he who opens a school door closes a prison. We all understand the importance of education, especially the school education. Unfortunately, for many households in India, their low income prevents them from giving a high priority to the school education of their children. I recognize that there were too many school dropouts which were happening. And because of the desire to contribute more to this, I walked into an NGO called Vidya and Child as a voluntary teacher for their after school program. The intent was to support these children while the parents could not afford even tuitions to support them. I walked into a class of 6th graders. There were 17 of them. And I thought I'm going to teach them maths. They taught me that the whole of my happiness was much larger than the sum of those tiny little joys that I experienced in that classroom. I took on the task of teaching them English. I thought I was teaching them a very beautiful language, but they taught me the language of love and commitment in that classroom. I thought that I would teach them science, but they taught me how to experiment and to take chances. I thought I was going to teach them social studies, but they taught me how to overcome societal pressures. My entire world changed in that classroom. My life acquired a new meaning. I taught those children for about 6.5 years until it was time for them to go to college. Out of 17, 8 had chosen engineering and medicine. The others had opted for the arts courses and commerce of their choice. Those 17 smiles standing outside their school and waving bye to me for the last time as their teacher ignited a smile inside me that only a true heart can understand. I was crying and I was smiling. They went off to college and I was left with a vacuum in my life. I did not know how to fill this void. I understood that I wanted to contribute. I wanted to contribute a lot more than I had. And when I spoke to the NGO Vidya and Child, they said, why don't you just quit your job and join us full time? But a single income household cannot indulge such a wish. I also understood that these children could acquire education only with a certain amount of money, in fact, a huge amount of money. And for me to get the money would not be so easy if I were not a Cadence valued employee. A mere NGO representative cannot speak so strongly. So, this desire to find a better project, a larger project, this desire and need to do something for these children, and then this need to stay within Cadence, they triangulated into a fortuitous alignment out of which was born the Cadence Scholarship Program for college education. It was the year 2017. Coincidentally, it was also the year that I joined Toastmasters. Yes, Toastmasters helped me articulate my dreams and desires to the group directors who were convinced and they gave me the budget, the fund to go ahead with this aspiration. We had to undergo a lot of challenges. Most importantly were, who are our beneficiaries going to be? So we went and spoke to the same NGOs with whom we had a decade-long partnership. And they came forward, gave us a list of students who aspired to have college education, who deserved college education, and who did not have the funds for college education. There ensued a whole battery of interviews and home visits to understand who our beneficiaries were going to be. We got started in 2017 and with 32 children. We went on to 60 children in 2018, and last year we were 88. During this time, we also opened chapters in Bangalore and Pune and Ahmedabad. This is just the progress of this project. If you really have to determine whether this project was successful or not, you might want to speak to students like Lakshmi, whose parents were not ready to send her to hotel management school in Panipat, but today she's working with Hyatt. You might want to speak to Himanshu, whose parents were bedridden. They did not have any money. And today he has been picked up by TCS from the campus at a salary of 8 lakhs. You might want to also speak to Moshmi. She's working as an office manager with a travel company. But what's most important is that she deemed it fit to contribute 20% of her first month's salary back to the program so that many more students can be helped. We didn't need that money, but I believe it's the thought that counts. What can you do? Today, I am riding high on the smiles of these 88 children. And I can assure you, these smiles can ignite yours too, if only you decide to facilitate the education of one child at least who's not your own. Thank you. Back to Mr. Toastmaster of the meeting.
What a wonderful speech. Can we have a huge round of applause for our prepared speaker, Rolisina? Let's have a silence for 1 minute. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, the timer. Our next speaker is coming with some humor. Again, there is problem. My slide is adamant of not getting ahead. Yes, now finally I have done it. The purpose of the next speech is to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second topic, and to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. The speaker is going to deliver level 1 of project 2 evaluation and feedback speech from the manual Engaging Humor. The time allotted to the speaker is 5 to 7 minutes. Please welcome on the stage. Before welcoming her on the stage, I would like to introduce our speaker. This speech is crafted for a British audience, and she wishes to practice this here and seek feedback. As a speaker, Toastmaster Shipriya wish to deliver speeches to a different varied audiences with a huge round of applause. And as I said, this is not what I am saying, but this is the topic of the speaker. Shipriya Gauri, for the love of Toastmasters, will someone please swipe right my Tinder profile? For the love of Toastmasters, will somebody please swipe right on my Tinder profile? TTM Shipriya Gauri.
Left. Oh, left. Ew. Definitely left. Ooh, right. How many of you know the difference between Finding love in the UK and finding love in India? Well, in the UK, you swipe right until you find that special someone. In India, my parents swipe right until they find me that special doctor. Toastmaster of the day and all those who got to choose their own lovers. I'm a rebel. Yes, my pre-written destiny may have me to sit and wait till my parents find the man of their dreams. But not me. No way. Not happening. Nada. I decided that I would be the master of my own destiny. If my mother were to enter the Zoom meeting, and there's a very good chance she reads my emails. I would simply deny that I've said this. But I knew that when it comes to finding the man of my dreams, I make my own choice. Sure, my parents choose the school I went to, they chose the clothes I wore, even they chose my sister to be their favorite daughter. But in love department, it is all me. I clearly remember the day. I was 15 and I was sitting in my chemistry class, trying my best to listen to the teacher, was trying her best to make sound fundamentals of chemistry attractive to teenagers. But there was only one set of chemical fundamentals I was interested in, and he was sitting across the room. Raghav Gambhir. What a man! I say a man, he was 16. But he was able to grow his mustache at that age. And all the boys were so jealous of him, including the teacher. Even she did not have as good a mustache as him. I stared at him, hoping for some kind of reaction. And there it was. He looked up from his books, locked eyes with me, and stroked his magnificent mustache. This is it. This is the exact moment I've been waiting for my entire life. Well, start of the term, so 3 weeks. What did I do? I did what any teenager would do when she locks her eyes with the man of her dreams, the captain of her ship, and the savior of her soul. I looked away. Sure, my soul could be saved another day. I'd rather watch my ship sink without a trace than actually have smiled back. And guess what? He never looked at me again. And my hunt for another mustache man went on for another 10 years. This time, even my parents joined me. They found me the perfect man, my soulmate, for 38 times. Eventually, they gave up, deleted all the matchmaking applications, and got me a cat. So I remained single. Until one fine day, I walked into a parallel universe. It completely changed my life. Ladies and gentlemen, you might know this universe as Toastmasters. But for me, well, it's raining men. Hallelujah. And there was one particular man who fell from the sky. Aditya. Oh, Aditya. And he was sitting across the room. I stared at him all through the description of the timer, the Sergeant at Arms address, and the President's welcome. But there was only one man I had the time for. One man whom I wanted in my arms, and only one man I would welcome as my president. And guess what? He looked up from his CC manual and locked his eyes with me. Oh my God, this is finally happening. This is what I've been waiting for an eternity. Well, 6 months. And finally, I did what any Toastmaster would do in that situation. I confess my feelings in 5 to 7 minutes prepared speech section. And then, do you know what happened? Anybody? Well, let's just say that we are happily married with 4 beautiful children with a healthy set of mustaches. And also, he's now qualified as a doctor. Right? Right? No. He rejected me. And I'm single again. Well, I should have known that Toastmasters is not a place for finding true love. The website at least should have given me a clue. It says Toastmasters International, where leaders are made, not lovers are made. So the search went on. So what is the difference between finding love in India and finding love in the UK? I have no idea. If you know, put the message in the chat section. Tell me what it is. And I frankly think there is none. But maybe, just maybe, once all the swiping is done, maybe what's left is exactly right. Hang on. Ooh, I got a match. Is there someone known as Rajkumar Mehta in this meeting? Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Shipriya. Let's observe a minute of silence. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta. So now we have seen the synergy between the prepared speeches, the table topic speeches, and the professional speech. Now it's time for something powerful. And for this, we have our Power Talk speaker among us. Our Power Talk speaker of the day is Abha Ohri. Abha is an alumnus of the St. Xavier's College, Calcutta. Post-marriage, she joined her husband in the tea estates and made the lovely green vistas her home for the next 25 years. Her life took a 360-degree turn in 2004 when she decided to venture out of her comfort zone to step into the corporate world. Slowly but surely, she worked her way up the ladder and in 2014 joined the prestigious Shriram School at Siliguri as its founder principal. She still serves there and is often called as a principal with principles. Abha joined Toastmasters in 2016 and feels this platform has given her a new direction in life. She has many firsts to her credits. The first area director, division director, as well as the DTM from North Bengal. She is the immediate past division director for Division J and N, Division 41, and is currently serving as the Associate Program Quality Director in charge of mentorship. She achieved both the Distinguished Division Director and President's Distinguished Division Director status during her tenure. Ava has recently launched her own online publication, EI Byte, as she wishes to go back to her first love, writing. A voracious reader and an avid gardener, Ava is a perfectionist by choice. Her life revolves around the four males in her life. Her husband, Ashwin, who is a general manager in the tea gardens, her elder son, Arman, who is a major in the Indian Army, her younger son, Ashray, who is an economist, and above all, Ashran, her month-old grandson. Ava believes that yesterday is history, tomorrow is mystery. So live life queen size in the today. Please welcome with a huge round of applause our Power Talk speaker, distinguished Toastmaster, Ava Ohri. Bite what you can chew, bite what you can chew, Ava Ohri.
Thank you so much for that, Timod Distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh. It is indeed a pleasure to be a part of your club, a club which has carved a niche for itself amongst all Toastmasters clubs. And so when Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta reached out to me and invited me here today, I must tell you, it was a privilege. But then when he said that I needed to give a power talk on communication, I was totally flummoxed. I mean, what do I come and tell all you stalwarts about communication? It's as if, I'm going and taking piano lessons with some renowned pianist. So I began to think, communication. I mean, that's what all of us Toastmasters have been doing. Even Pathways also has an entire project on communication. So we by now know all the types of communication. We've been able to figure out what kind of communicators we are. We know that communication means trying to get your message across. So what exactly am I going to do over here today? So I thought to myself, let me tell you something about my journey in communication. I grew up on a diet of Shakespeare. I've read every play and sonnet of his. Yes, all 37 plays and all 154 sonnets. I was so much in love with the bard, so as to say, that in my growing up years, I would almost talk in prose. So when I had to speak to my mother, it would be something like, "Oh, mother, do not dither, lay the lunch on the table hither, for the pangs of hunger shall make me wither." And my mom would be something like, "What? Can you just talk proper English?" But then you know what? It had its upsides too, because all the flowery language with the use of adjectives and the prose and the lovely long sentences that I wrote actually made me win all the essay competitions that I took part in, including those of the British Council. And I felt mighty excited and glad about the kind of English I spoke and wrote. And so it was that when I got married and went to the tea estates, all of a sudden, I found all the reading had come to a halt. You know why? Because tea estates are located in the remotest of areas possible. If you're lucky, you got to read today's newspaper tomorrow. If you're unlucky, 2 to 4 days was bearable. And so I decided with some like-minded friends that let's go and launch a magazine of our own. And we did. We called it the Camellia. Tea is called Camellia synthesis, the plant. The botanical name for tea is Camellia synthesis. And so it was great because every month we used to wait for that magazine to come, and we wanted it to be the thickest possible, and we wanted all the stories to be the longest possible, so that we had enough of reading material to last us for 1 month at least. But over the period of time, with internet coming in, mobile phones, places getting more accessible, and above all, all my team who started it, everybody started retiring, that 10 years back, the magazine died down. I decided, fine, not a magazine, let me venture into the online space. And so it was that 4 months back, I decided to launch my own online publication. I thought it would be a whiz, just like what I did with Camellia. Ring up some friends, tell them to send in their articles, their recipes, add in some more, flavor like opinion pieces. It would be great. But when I was researching it, I found that the one thing which I always banked upon was actually my biggest drawback. I never knew how to put things in a concise and precise manner. My research showed that people do not have an attention span of more than 3 to 4 minutes. Every article, 3 minutes, 4 minutes of reading time. How and the kind of articles I was getting, they all required not just one round of editing, they required zillion rounds of editing where everything had to be chop, so that it became really nice and precise, gave out the exact answer to the question of the title, gave the reader exactly what they wanted to read, and just cutting away all the frivolity. So, earlier when we used to write recipes, it was something like 4 potatoes, pressure cook for 2 whistles, lower down the flame, keep it on at a lower flame for 1 minute, and then switch off the gas. But now when it comes to recipes, 4 potatoes, boil, period, you're done. But that really was difficult. Then when we started, I thought, okay, this is, getting a bit too much. Let me, try and get some videos in. So we started doing interviews and we started putting up videos. But then we found that anything over 4 minutes, people would just leave and go. It may be something to do with the times these days, with everybody being so busy, that everyone is just looking for something quick and short. So that is where my other hobby really helped me, gardening. And I realized that I never ever overwater my plants. I never ever underwater them. I put the exact amount of manure which is required. I know exactly how much of mud and manure and sand and pebbles and what is the mixture supposed to be in every pot. Anything over, anything less, the plant will die down. So putting my gardening experience into this, I got down to serious business of editing. It came one major question which I faced was, what do I name it? And I thought of one of my favorite quotes, the moving finger writes and having writ moves on. I brushed off the idea with a friend of mine and he said, what rubbish, just 2 words. You can't have more than that, 2 syllables is all. Who's going to remember the moving finger writes and having writ moves on? Nobody has time to read all that. So then, let me give you an example of what I meant by flowery language and let me see how it connects with you. So supposing I tell you, after a lot of careful consideration and a lot of soul searching, I finally came to the idea of adopting Elbyte as the name for my online publication. Having done a lot of research and having digested whatever Google had to throw to me, I felt Elbyte was just right because that is what would give the flavor to the discerning leaders and the keen observers who I was going to target as my reader audience. I'm sure that all went way above, right? Vis-a-vis that, if I had just mentioned, I thought of Elbyte. L meaning the, byte, B-Y-T-E, short, one byte, the byte. I had my 2 syllables and I was ready to roll. And then, of course, it was a question of reaching out to people, getting the articles, and then sitting and editing. I remember I had one article on a beautiful travel piece, to a place called Dalat, which is near Vietnam. But there was so much of unnecessary words in it that I had to actually sit with a thesaurus and a dictionary and sort out and put concise words. In today's day and age, it is important that we communicate only as much as is necessary. People are leading busy lives. We may be on virtual platforms, but everybody is got a huge workload spread out throughout the day, along with homework too. Nobody is actually interested in a very rambling sentence or rambling sentences. My suggestion to all would-be writers, even for speech writers, I would say, one sentence, a maximum of 15 words, that would make the sentence nice and breezy, nothing more. The moment you find you're exceeding 15 words, please break it up into shorter sentences. Short sentences can catch the attention span of everybody much better. And please do away with all those colons and semicolons and dashes. I remember I was really fond of doing all that, but none of it works in these days, you know. And when you have an online publication, everybody is reading it on their mobiles and trying to sift through a lot of things at the same time. You have a WhatsApp message beeping, you may be having an email, and at the same time trying to read some article. Make it more pictorial. A picture can speak much more than words. And then the sentences that follow should be very short and precise. There is really no point having long drawn out sentences which can really tire the soul. That is not what we are looking at. And when it is an online publication which has a lot of articles, a lot of sections, we want them to be nice, breezy reads. If anyone wanted to read something longer, then go and buy a book, right? Even in Kindle, nowadays, which you have, a lot of people prefer the Kindle over a physical book. Even there, you would find people tend to skip a lot of lines if it has got too much of description. Similarly, in Toastmasters, when I joined, I felt my speeches, I was always getting timed out because I never knew exactly when to end. But then I realized the very fact that the speech time limit was given, it was done with an objective, that we learn to create our speeches within that time period. So trying to manage time and giving and meeting the objective of what you're trying to say to your audience is a skill that we all need to master. This skill will definitely take time to come, especially if you happen to be somebody like me who writes longer sentences or who believes in a lot of visual imagery. But with practice, it is something I'm sure that we all can manage. That is why I said, let's bite only what we can chew. There is no point in overdoing things. It's really not going to help. A clear, concise, precise sense of direction, a clear, concise, precise sense of what we are trying to say is something that I think we all can imbibe. Thank you very much. I can't see the timer, so I really don't know whether I have overshot the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. What a wonderful and wonderful thoughts. There has to be someone who needs to say something. Someone should say all the rules about the punctuations and the conciseness. So thank you very much for joining us today and giving your thoughts. I hope all the best for albeit your new venture, and we will sure join that too. Thank you very much once again. Moving forward, let's proceed with our general evaluation section, where our general evaluator Sandeep Kumar is going to lead the session with his all the team supplementary as well as all the evaluators who are you only. So Sandeep is a goal-oriented person who leads his life with passion. He is a salesperson for last 10 years. He is currently working as an area sales manager with Daikin Air Conditioning Private Limited. He is a Toastmaster for 4+ years. With a huge round of applause, please welcome Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar as General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Hello, members and dear guests. It is very important sections to provide the feedback for improvement of all the speakers and role players. Before inviting speaker on the stage, I request to give at least one recommendation and a commendation to the speaker. If your points have been covered, please try to skip that. And if the speaker missed any guest or member, you are welcome to provide your feedback offline. To begin with evaluation, I would like to call professional speaker of the day on the stage. Rupinder Singh.
General evaluator, I will not be able to come on stage. I will request that we move ahead with the evaluation of the prepared speakers. And you can send in your evaluations to me offline. I'm sorry, I will not be able to take part in evaluations. I'm right now not in a condition.
Thank you, Rupinder. As requested by the speakers, I request on the behalf of Rupinder to please provide feedback offline directly to Rupinder. I would like to invite our first prepared speaker, Rolly Sinha, on the virtual stage to take the evaluation from these members and guests. Rolly Sinha, you are welcome.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sandeep. Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, can I have your evaluation first? If you were able to note down any points.
Yeah, really. I like the basically the scene of your story, of your speech when you introduced us the children, underprivileged children, and how you interacted with them and learned lessons from them. It was a good narration and with empathy with the children, and how you could, bring them out of that situation to a situation where they are well placed. Overall, it was a good delivery. I was just looking for some dialogues. Maybe you could have some dialogues with some of the children or their parents, or maybe after they have become established in their respective fields, some kind of dialogues were missing. Otherwise, it was a good speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Distinguished Toastmaster Abha Ori, can I have your feedback?
Hi, Rolly. I thought the very fact that you thought that this was something which you had done, and how you encouraged all of us and motivated us and inspired us by what you have done, for me was a key takeaway, that if I wanted to do something, all I had to do was just take on the ownership of educating just one child. So the message of your speech was absolutely awesome.
Any improvement areas that you would like me to focus on?
I felt you were speaking very slowly. Maybe you could have increased the delivery, your tone, and probably could have added in more, because I'm not sure, but I got the feeling you may have been timed out towards the end.
Yeah. Right. Thank you so
Maybe
much,
you
ma'am.
could just brush up on the speed of your delivery.
Sure. Distinguished Toastmaster Shivpriya Gauri.
Thank you, Rolly. I really love the story. I really love the connection. I really love the message. And I love the way that you're poised and composed. But my problem is sometimes you're too poised. That is what I want to bring it on. So there were opportunities in your speech which could have allowed you to play with your emotions and exhibit them. And you restricted yourself and stuck to the speech. So even when you're playing the role of a narrator, it's okay to let go, because that's how you you'll be able to win the audience with emotions. So that's my feedback. Thank you.
Thank you. Toastmaster Gayatri, would you like to share your feedback?
Sure. Really, like Shivpriya said, you are extremely poised, but I would like to see a little bit of more energy. And it was a wonderful story. It was an engaging story, and it was a very inspiring story. I just thought that maybe if you could have been a little more expressive in terms of your voice and in terms of your body language, maybe you could have conveyed it, or your entire speech would have been probably more impactful, is what I thought.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. Aditya, would you like to share your feedback?
Really, I'm very much inspired by listening to your speech. That would be my commendation. My recommendations, unfortunately or fortunately, have already been covered.
Sure. Thank you. Toastmaster Anshupriya, would you share your feedback?
Really, what can I comment on your speech? I really look forward to speak like you one day. And I think one recommendation only, which Raser has covered, dialogues were missing. You could have played your emotions in the dialogues, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. So my focus for future speeches will be to add in dialogues, exhibit emotions, increase the pace of my speech, and bring in more energy. Thank you. Back to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you, Rolly. Now, I would like to invite our second prepared speaker, Shipriya Gori on the virtual stage. Shipriya Gori, you are welcome on virtual stage.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. First and foremost, I would like to start from my previous speaker, Toastmaster Roli.
Okay. Thank you, Shipriya. I enjoyed listening to your speech. In points, I feel that it's becoming a little verbose. You can cut down the words a little, and that will deliver the punch a little better, in my opinion. Avoid the use of the word well, and don't have such a up and down kind of a tone in your speech. That was the only vocal variety that I could note, so you might want to just vary it a little bit more. I enjoyed listening to this speech. Thank you.
Thank you, TM Roli. May I request distinguished Toastmaster Abha to kindly share her feedback?
Hi, Shivpriya. My feedback for you is when you come on screen, your eyes are dancing. So that's what I really loved about your speech. You were like, I could feel a dance movement happening on stage. But then, like Roli pointed out, I felt that your delivery was a bit too fast. Maybe you could take some pauses and have a more measured style of speaking. Otherwise, I thought you were very good.
Thank you so much, Shava ma'am. May I request Toastmaster Anshupriya?
Shipriya, it was really an entertaining speech. It got everything: humor, prop, expressions, dance, everything. And my recommendations have been covered.
All right, thank you so much. May I request the humorous champion, the humor king of our club, to kindly share your feedback?
Thank you very much, Shipriya.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's you. Okay.
Is someone else is targeted?
No. Go on.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I will directly come to the recommendation and don't feel bad if there are a mistake of that. So because it is for your own good. First of all, I think if you can put your camera in the eyes level, because that was distracting. So even if it is a normal meeting and you are just practicing, it's better to keep the camera on the eye level, even if it's not the contest. Second thing, the most basic point for all the humorous speech is seriousness. If there is no serious message behind your entire speech, then the entire speech will come as a fun. And people will remember you, people will be entertained, but if will have a long lasting impact unless you are having some serious thoughts behind all the fun and jokes. So if you can incorporate that clearly, obviously at the conclusion or throughout the speech, that will be great. There are certain jokes that we can work together that are very normal, or we have already known these kind of jokes, so we can try to maximize their uniqueness. There are lots of things that we have opportunity, lots of opportunity to improve on. Maybe we can sit together once.
Thank you so much. May I have the timer, Raj Mehta, to kindly share his comments?
Okay. By the time I'm giving my feedback, your time will be touching around 4 minutes.
Done.
Okay. I found that there was scopes of vocal variety, but it was missing. I found that there could have been stronger punches. I didn't find the much improvement in the speech which we had done last time. And it was an entertaining speech, but not a humorous speech. Like I could smile, I could not laugh. And thank you for taking my name, which I had forgotten by. Thank you.
Thank you. So can I take one more feedback? Am I at red or yellow?
You are yellow.
All right. So Gayatri, would you like to add some points?
Most of the commendations are covered. About the recommendation, I have two recommendations. One,
okay.
Whenever you were looking away, which was very frequently, I was feeling a disconnect as an audience.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, I don't know how I should put it or how you could work on it.
Got it.
I could understand it was a body language, but whenever you looked away, as an audience, I felt a little disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
And second aspect was that there were a lot of moments in between the speeches when you were transitioning from one point to the next one. There was some dull moments, a couple of dull moments. Maybe
okay.
Like considering that you're going to work on it again, maybe you could fill out those moments with some good humorous transition over there.
Okay, makes sense. All right, to summarize, thank you so much. To summarize, okay, there are a lot of points, so it's pretty much a laundry list. So I'm just going to go to the YouTube and pick up all the recommendations once again. And then let's see, I have my speech on Tuesday. So let's see how much I can incorporate. Thank you so much and have an amazing evening. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Shipriya. Now it is time to hear from our auxiliary role players. First of all, I would like to invite Gayatri as grammarian on the stage.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. So in today's session, there was synergy of some excellent words and excellent usages. I would like to point out a few words which really, which were like new and which were used very effectively. Ramification that Rupinder came up with. Paradigm shift, which means a fundamental change in approach. Doldrums, a state of being in the stage of stagnation or depression. There were some other excellent words like the one Abha used, flummoxed, which means bewildered or discerning, to show good judgment. There were some excellent usages as well. We could talk about the usages like long drawn out sentences, or ignited the smile in my heart, which Roli used, or articulate my dreams and desires. So Roli had a good day today. I love when Shripriya came up with this usage, captain of her ship and savior of her soul. It was amazing. And Rupinder pointed out really well with went to their shores. So there were some really excellent usages of all the sentences over here. And there were some very few not so good usages. You said, once somebody said, whole of my happiness. I think it should be, it would have sounded better if it was all of my happiness. And somewhere in the speech, it was mentioned, do you know? And audiences were asked for a kind of a reaction. So instead of do you know, you could have just gone ahead with something like, can you guess? It was said that catch the attention span. maybe retain the attention would have been a more proper usage in this regards. We went on to 60 children. I think the count went up to 60 children from 30 children would have sounded better. Um, I think all in all, it was a wonderful session. And word of the day, I would really like to commend TMOD Mukesh, because he used the word of the day quite a lot of times. Thank you so much, Mukesh. Over to you, General Evaluator Sandeep.
Thank you, Gayatri. Now it is time to call our counter on the stage, Aditya. Aditya, are you there?
Thank you so much. Yes, I am. Just give me one moment. I'll share my screen. Can you confirm if my screen is visible to you? General Evaluator. All right,
Yes,
thumbs up.
it
All
is
right, thank
visible.
you. So the R count. All right, thank you. The R counter had a pretty good day at the office today. I'll start from the opening segment. DTM Rupinder Singh, as president, had only one R and one SO, making it a total of 2. Members at the business segment only had one R during the whole business segment, and I'm very, very proud to say that. Our Toastmaster of the day, Mukesh Thakur, DTM, did a phenomenal job as a Toastmaster, and as Gayatri said, by using the word of the day multiple times. And he only had 12 hours, 2 double crutch words and 2 repeat words throughout the TMOD section. Moving on to the professional speech segment, DTM Rupinder Singh again did a fabulous job. In the overall 18 minutes, he only had 3 filler words, 1 1 and 1 double crutch. Moving on to table topics, our table topic master had 3 R's, 1 and 2 double crutch words. Our first table topic speaker did a phenomenal job, only 1 filler word. Second table topic speaker had only 3 filler words. And third table topic speaker, Suchismita, had a total of 5 filler words. Moving on to the prepared speeches section, and I couldn't have been prouder to say that both of our prepared speakers had 0 filler words. Nada, nil, nothing. A huge round of applause for both of them. Our Power Talk speaker, again, DTM Abha, did a phenomenal job, only 1 filler word. For the evaluation segment, till now, a general evaluator has had 0 filler words. Kudos to that. For speaker 1 evaluation, Roli had only 1 filler word. DTM Raj had 2. DTM Abha had 2 filler words. Shivpriya Gauri, again, a phenomenal job, 0 filler words. Gayatri had 3 and Anshupriya had 3 filler words. For speaker 2 evaluation, DTM Shivpriya Gauri did not let this go as a maiden. She finally had 1 filler word throughout the whole meeting. Roli had 2 filler words. DTM Ava only had 1. Anshupriya had 2. DTM Mukesh had 4 filler words. DTM Raj had 3. And Gayatri had 2 filler words. And till now, the meeting has a total of 65 filler words. That's from the office of the R counter today. Back to you, Sir General Evaluator.
Thank you, Aditya, for sharing such a detailed report. I would like to invite District Toastmaster Raj Mehta on virtual stage to present timers remote.
Thank you, General Evaluator. The timing goes like this. President, for opening of the meeting, took 45 seconds out of 60 seconds allotted. Mission of the club was missed by him, and he took 48 seconds out of 60 seconds for welcoming the guest. For the section of introduction of short-term goals, it had taken in total 6 minutes and 45 seconds out of 10 minutes. Toastmaster of the day, Mukesh Thakur, for the introduction of the theme, he took 3 minutes and 58 seconds out of the allotted time of 3 minutes. For the structure of the meeting, he took 1 minute and 58 seconds out of 2 minutes. And for introduction of role players, he took 2 minutes and 12 seconds out of 2 minutes. For the introduction of the professional speaker, the time allotted was 1 minute and he had taken 55 seconds. The professional speaker, Rupinder Singh DTM, time allotted was 18 minutes and he took 16 minutes and 42 seconds. And now coming on to the table topic session, Toastmaster of the day took 66 seconds for the introduction of the table topic master. The time allotted was 60 seconds or 1 minute. Table topic session in total took 12 minutes and 8 seconds against the time allotment of 10 seconds. Oh, sorry, 10 minutes. The table topic speaker 1 took 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Table topic speaker number 2, Seema, took 2 minutes and 18 seconds. And table topic speaker number 3, Suchi Smita, took 1 minute and 48 seconds. Toastmaster of the day for the introduction of the speaker number 1, out of the 1 minute, he took 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And the speaker number 1, Toastmaster Roli Sinha, she took 8 minutes and 05 seconds against 7 minutes. Toastmaster of the day took 1 minute and 48 seconds for the introduction of the speaker number 2 against an allotment of 1 minute. And the second speaker took 7 minutes and 28 seconds. Toastmaster of the day took 2 minutes and 51 seconds against allotment of 1 minute for the introduction of the Power Talk speaker. Power Talk speaker took 12 minutes and 14 seconds against a allotted time of 10 minutes. Toastmaster of the day took 1 minute and 9 seconds against 1 minute for the introduction of the general evaluator. Coming on to the speaker number 4 for the evaluation. She took 4 minutes and 49 seconds against 5 minutes. And speaker number 2 took 5 minutes and 53 seconds against 5 minutes. Grammarian took 2 minutes and 19 seconds against an allotment of 3 minutes. And our counter took 2 minutes and 55 seconds against an allotment of 3 minutes. I have till now taken 3 minutes and 36 seconds against 3 minutes. And the general evaluation session in total has taken 22.31 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, timer. Now it is before I present my report on general evaluation. Let me quickly go through the evaluation on table topics, speakers. First of all, I will begin with District Toastmaster Abha Ori. She started very well with the words provided, ghost and dole, and she actually creates the platform. The good thing which I liked is she actually ended the speech very well, so that she could actually take the baton forward to the next speaker. Now, next speaker was Seema, and the word were given fair and hair. She concluded and presented the structure of the speech very well. I would like to give the recommendation that though the first speaker presents her speech very well, so she could actually start from there. This is the actual way of teamwork also. Last, Suchi Smita, she actually start and ended with the line given by the table topic master. The only recommendation which I can give is that there were too many repetitions of the sentences, so that could be avoided. That is on the table topic speakers. Now I would like to present my report on general evaluation. Hope my screen is visible. TMOD, could you please confirm?
Yes, the screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
So we had a great meeting today. So I would like to highlight where the gap is. First of all, with the presiding officer, Rupinder Singh did a very good job today. There were no errors which were there. Next to Toastmaster of the day, The theme chosen was very well, though I would like to recommend that please choose the topic different from the professional speech to gain the audience attention. That is the only recommendation. Second, whenever role players were introduced, so please highlight to the speakers and role players to spotlight the timer, whosoever comes on the virtual stage. Third is table topic. I really commend Anshu Priya for presenting the table topics in a creative way, and it was actually a different way to actually take the baton and carry the baton forward to the next speaker, and it was actually conducted and ended very well. The only recommendation which I can give is to include the word of the day during the introduction of table topics. Next, evaluations. So we did a very good job today on the evaluation part. There were no repetitions on recommendation. That was great job done, and I kudos to you all. And next, the timer. The timer did a good job. All the cards were presented timely. The only thing which I can suggest is whenever there is no report, so you, for the sake of the time, you should present the report. Where is the gap for the total time allotted? So there is no need to actually go through with the time. You can highlight the gap only, or mention the speakers that they're within time. I have no comment on the R counters. The reports are well presented. The recommendation which can give R counter is whosoever use the particular more R's and M's, so you have to give the solution also, so that the concerned speaker can improve. Next is grammarian. Don't have any points. Tech master, yes, this one of the recommendation which I can give to Tech master, that all the audio video checks could be done before the beginning of the meeting. Next, overall meeting, the chat room was quiet. No one talked on chat. Or last one, there were, I would say the energy was medium. That was not too high and not too low. So we have to work on energy. And yes, I think there was one backout, and somehow thanks to Gayatri, who can actually help us to hold on grammarian role. This is all from my side. I would like to hand over the stage to presiding officer, if he is here, Rupinder.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. In the absence of our club president, I'll be taking over this stage now as the presiding officer. My first set of thanks go to our guests, the ones who delivered the power talk, distinguished Toastmaster Abha Ori, and the person who saved our day once again by taking on the grammarian's role, Toastmaster Gayatri. I also want to thank Toastmaster Megha and Yashika, and I don't see Haritika, but probably she's also in the meeting. If yes, I don't see her right now, but I want to thank her, and Bhavna. Thank you for attending our meeting. If you have any feedback that can help us improve, I'd like to take your suggestions now. And we'll start with distinguished Toastmaster Abha Ori. Ma'am, if you'd like anything that we should work on for our future meetings.
I think attending the meeting was an eye-opener for me, and I took back a lot of learning, and I would like to implement this in our clubs too. So thank you so much for this wonderful meeting. I learned a lot. Keep up the good work. That's all what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Gayatri, would you like to share any feedback apart from all the recommendations that you had as part of your grammarian report?
No, just please keep bringing me on.
Our link is exactly the same. Just save it and make sure that you're here every single week. We really love your presence.
Even I love it here a lot.
Hope for more backouts.
No, I'm not hoping for more backouts. I would like her to enjoy the meeting as well as
Yes.
participate.
I would
in
love
it.
to take up some table topic speech
Yeah,
next week.
definitely. Please do come.
Yeah.
And Megha, would you like to share your feedback for the meeting? Anything you'd like us to work on?
Yeah, I really like the way it was professionally conducted with each and every person's PPT showing what background and how what's the time he joined Toastmasters. Give a personal connect to the audience. So I really love the way you conduct the meeting. I haven't come across with such a professional level carrying off meetings. I really enjoy it.
Thank you so much. This is one practice that we must ensure that we continue. Bhavna, would you like to share your comments?
I joined 5 minutes back, so I am not in a position to say that. However, I would like to attend more of these meetings because this is the first time, and I actually just got to know about there's a meeting running. So just I got to know, and then I logged in. So I hope to attend future meetings of your club.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you took this opportunity. Let me also take this opportunity to tell you that next week again we'll be meeting at 3:45. So do log in with the same link, and we welcome you
Sure.
even for the next week. So at this point, I'd like the members to speak up and share their opinions, or if they would like to give feedback to any of the other members, or they want to express anything for the members or for the meeting that we can keep in mind.
I guess Megha has not shared her feedback, has she?
She did share.
Oh, okay. Apology. Okay.
Yeah. Megha, maybe you can speak a little louder. Our humor king has this tendency to say, yeah, once more.
Okay, that's really love. I really love the way you're conducting at this epidemic time, and you've adapted with the technology. I really love the pace you were maintaining with the meeting, with each and everything cleared. I haven't seen such more proficiency with any other club I have come across. I really like the atmosphere, the
Thank you so
virtual atmosphere.
Thank you so much. I hope you join us next week as well and in all our future meetings. So thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur, for that prompt. Now you can share your feedback as well.
I'm just wondering, there was one feedback that there was a bit of low energy. So we can just discuss what better we can do in the future meetings. Any idea where we went wrong and what better can be done?
Mukesh, actually, if I see, we have improved from the last meeting. The kind of energy was medium, so we worked on from low to medium. Now we have to work from medium to high. We have done one improvement, so we have to work from the medium to high.
I agree with Sandeep. And Shifriya, would you like to share your comments? Shifriya just dropped off, is it?
Can't see Shifriya.
Yeah, I think she just dropped off. So I'll go on to Anshupriya then. Anshupriya, would you like to share?
Oh, I'm sorry, Roly. I don't have anything to share.
Okay. Any ideas for improving our energy from medium to high?
Yeah, grammarian.
Yes, madam.
A smile will help. Make it compulsory for all the speakers to have a broad smile on their face when they are delivering a speech. Maybe it will help. I don't know. It helps me personally.
A smile, a smile as well as video turned on. Otherwise, the smile will not be shown.
No, the first thing you have to do is look at yourself, compliment yourself. Wow, I'm looking so pretty. I'm looking so good today. I'm just so awesome. And automatically the smile will appear on your face. And that will automatically give you a lot of energy.
Thank you, Gayatri. I think our club president had it as his short-term goal for some time. We all need to adopt that goal, not just concentrate on our club president and leading the way. Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, would you like to share your ideas or comments?
Mm, not being offensive to anybody, I personally feel that if we want to have higher energy, it should come right in the beginning. And when I say right in the beginning, it should come with the first word which the presiding officer speaks. Saying it, welcome to the 114th meeting is one way, and welcome to the 114th meeting is different thing. So that will set the tone of the energy. This is my personal view. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a very practical solution. I'm sure that this we can definitely try and implement. Okay. Aditya, any ideas, any comments?
Taking cue from what DTM Raj sir said, that the meeting should, of course, be started with a very high note. Small learning that I took from one of the 4-day seminars that I attended. We used to sit in front of a laptop for 14 hours on the day in one day, and that was for 3.5 days. And trust me, attending those seminars, I did not even felt slight laziness or lethargic at all. Those 12 hours or 14 hours was the best time of my day. And the way the facilitators used to do that before the start of the meeting, let's say, and putting that in our context, all of us join at least or at max by, let's say, 3:45 we start coming in. Maybe we can play some music on Zoom, also has an option of sharing sound so that everybody hears it properly. And we can just start, you can stand up for 5 to 7 or 10 minutes, and one of us can guide others to do some stretching exercises or some dance moves. And exactly at 4 or 3:58 p.m., we stop the music. At 4 p.m., the president opens the meeting with a bang. And after every 30 or 45 minutes, this responsibility can be given to the TMOD of the day within the 1 minute that you have to introduce the speaker, or the time that you have, or whatever time you can scooch in. Again, request everybody, invite everybody to turn on their cameras, stand up and play some high energetic music, and just do some crazy moves. Sit down, let's welcome the next speaker with even a larger energy than he or she would expect. And this is just a broad idea. Of course, we can build on it if members agree, and let's see how that turns out.
Thank you, Aditya. I'm sure that we can try that out because nothing ventured, nothing achieved. So definitely a good idea for us to try it out. I can see that our president is quite vocal on his chat messages, even though he's unable to speak. Really appreciate the effort that he's putting in. Distinguished Toastmaster Shivpriya, could you share your feedback, comments, ideas?
Sure, thank you so much, Toastmaster Ruby. My only thing is that I think we should start having a combination of roundtable and specific evaluations. We did speak about it long back. So probably it's time for us to do so that there are specific evaluation in terms of what do you improve and how do you improve. So that is something which could make the meeting even more fruitful for someone who's a speaker. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I like the suggestion and the reminder that Distinguished Toastmaster Shivpriya is bringing. I think the speakers should reach out to the members and choose their specific evaluators, ask them to focus on specific points in their speech. Maybe it's the humor quotient, or it's the body language, or facial expressions, or for example, I could be asked to focus on just the specific emotions that I was able to exhibit. So I might want to ask my next speech evaluator to focus on that and see if I've improved since the last time or I'm still not achieving the mark. So I think that we can take that, but again, it has to come from the members. Whenever you have a speech next time, see if you want to get in a dedicated speech evaluator, or if you would like specific points to be concentrated upon. So then let the Toastmaster of the meeting know in advance, and then that can be included for your project objectives for that day. So we shall, is there anything else that the members or the guests feel that can be included or suggested or discussed?
We'll discuss it in a networking session.
Yeah, we can proceed to the networking session. So I'll request the tech master. Sandeep, would you be able to